What's up, everybody? It's Jared with Capture the Magic, and to say that Walt Disney World is going to be under heavy construction for the coming years would probably be an understatement. You have 3 out of the 4 theme parks that are going to have a lot of construction going on. You have Villains Land that is being developed, you have Cars Land, you have Monstropolis, and you have Encanto coming over to Animal Kingdom. And I've had questions about how much can this construction hamper attendance at Walt Disney World while these things are being built. And I think to offset that or battle that, Disney has a lot of refurbs going on. They have some new things they're trying to present to get people to come to the parks, along with more discounts, very similar to what they had last summer. So in this video, we're going to go through everything that kind of Disney unveiled, some of these opening timelines for things like Big Thunder Mountain, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, and some other attractions that they're looking to sort of headline this summer. So in this video, we're going to go through everything that Disney announced about this and the discounts. And is all this going to be enough to offset some of the construction annoyances that could be there for guests if they decide to come to Walt Disney World? So we're going to go through all this, talk about it, give some thoughts on it. All right, we got a few things here we're going to check out. We're not going to read through all these articles, but this is most of it is from Blog Mickey. So it says Big Thunder Mountain Railroad to reopen in early May at Magic Kingdom, which I was wondering if this might get delayed. Sometimes Disney does that, but it seems like this is going to open in early May. It says the attraction has been closed for more than a year as crews replaced the full length of the roller coaster track along with other magical updates. Says Imagineer Wyatt Winter shares some details about the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad refresh at Magic Kingdom. Some of the details are they're all new trains and an all new track as well. Refreshed audio animatronics throughout the attraction, returning effects that haven't been present for years, rainbow caverns that come to life as the mountain pushes back against our presence, actual gold out of the mountain for the first time ever. And then one effect that Disney fans assumed would be part of the refresh is the exploding finale scene present in other versions of the attraction and other theme parks. While Walt Disney World hasn't confirmed or denied that the exploding finale will come to Magic Kingdom, there are hints that it is not part of the plans. If they don't do that, I don't really understand why they wouldn't do that. That is one of those things it's just such an easy win. I mean, I love Big Thunder Mountain, and I think, having new track, new trains, hopefully they didn't change the story too much because I don't really think you need to tweak with the story. But I would like to see those effects be in there. But this is going to open in early May, so just in time for summer to try and get people to go into the parks. Also, along the lines of yet another refurb or reimagining, I guess if you will, is Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin has its reopening date announced. The Tomorrowland attraction has been closed since last summer as Imagineers refreshed the attraction to bring all new blasters and interactive targets, among other changes. It says, we just got word from Star Command. Our mission is ready. Join Buzz Lightyear beginning April 8th at Magic Kingdom Park to save the galaxy from the evil Emperor Zurg on this recharged attraction. It says after boarding your enhanced ride vehicle, you'll meet Buddy, a new support bot at Star Command, who will help you train with some target practice before heading out on your mission. From interactive targets that will now react and light up when hit, to new handheld blasters that will include an always-on laser and new lighting, sound, and vibration effects. So it has a brand new scene. It says, as their adventure begins, guests will now be greeted by an all-new character, which is the support bot Buddy. It says, all new targets, the static Z targets found in the attraction today will be upgraded with new technology that will allow them to react and light up when hit. It also opens the door for a few other ideas Imagineers have in mind. Brand new ride vehicles, that's definitely a good thing. Star Cruisers will also receive a facelift with a new design inspired by the colors of Buzz Lightyear and Star Command. It says each enhanced vehicle will also now come equipped with video monitors that provide real-time scoring updates and other exciting features. And handheld blasters, thank goodness. Each ride vehicle will now include handheld blasters for better aim, helping guests to score even more points. And these new blasters will be perfect for younger riders, allowing them to participate in more of the experience. I think this refurb, even though, I will say, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin doesn't really have any business in Tomorrowland, in my opinion, but obviously it's not going to go anywhere. This attraction having this sort of re-theme to it, I think is a good thing because this ride was always frustrating to me. The ride vehicle, the way you shot, how sensitive or responsive the triggers were on this. It was just always frustrating. I never really enjoyed it. I would find myself just being more frustrated most of the time. So hopefully these changes are good. They sound like it's a move in the right direction. I mean, the fact that you can actually just hold the blaster, you've got more responsive targets, things like that. So as a competitive person myself, I like when something actually is more intuitive of what you're kind of used to. And hopefully they kind of go more of a Toy Story Mania type of vibe with this. But I do think these changes will be a welcome one. But again, this one is actually opening earlier than I thought it would, which is going to be April 8th. So you have this opening April 8th. You have Big Thunder Mountain opening in early May. And then they also announced that we knew this was coming, but Bluey's Wild World is going to open May 26th at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And this is, of course, if you don't know about Bluey, and I don't know what to tell you, but Disney announced almost, was it 2 years ago, that Bluey was going to be coming to the parks and to the cruise lines, and we didn't hear anything for a long time about it. And then they finally came out and said it's coming to Animal Kingdom, and it's going to be going over in Rafiki's Planet Watch area over there, Conservation Station is where that's going to be located. It says Walt Disney World has announced that the Bluey offering, Bluey's Wild World at Conservation Station, will open May 26th at Disney's Animal Kingdom. And it says here, Bluey and Bingo are on their way to Disney's Animal Kingdom starting May 26th and staying beyond Cool Kids Summer. You can play and dance with Bluey and Bingo as they take an excursion over to Conservation Station. It says beginning May 26th at Walt Disney World Resort, you'll be able to take a fun excursion to Conservation Station in Disney's Animal Kingdom. Now, I think Bluey is going to be popular. I'm curious about how much of a draw this is going to be, maybe not in the short term, but sort of the long term in Animal Kingdom, considering there's not a lot to do in Animal Kingdom, especially right now with all this construction going on. Are families going to be coming over here just for this Bluey meet and greet? And if they are, the other question I have is, Rafiki's Planet Watch, the way that train goes, there's going to be some massively long lines for this. If this is the case, because most families coming in here, there's not a lot of stuff to do in terms of rides itself, nor for kids. And so this is really going to be the main headlining thing here. And are they going to be able to handle that sort of traffic? I am curious about that because, again, Animal Kingdom is going to struggle in the coming years with attendance, as it has been struggling with attendance, which is one of the reasons why they're building, all the things that they're building in Kanto, Indiana Jones, Tropical Americas in Animal Kingdom. How much does it help it? And if it really does help it, is this actually end up being another problem? Can they handle the crowds? Because this area it's going into is really never meant or really never had huge crowds before. So that is a question I have about this. I'm sure we'll take our kids this at some point. I'm not going to try and brave it first day because I just imagine this is going to be a madhouse. But I am genuinely curious. I'm not really making any predictions about it. I'm just curious to see how this plays out. But Bluey is a very popular cartoon. I do imagine that this is going to be a very popular meet and greet. It's just putting it in Animal Kingdom. Obviously, I understand why they're doing it, but how much, is just a meet and greet, just a huge draw to spend, almost half a day or a whole day in Animal Kingdom? I guess time will tell, but I do have some questions about that. We know Soarin' Across America is coming up, but we do have a closing date for Soarin' Around the World. Of course, this is celebrating the 250th anniversary of the United States of America. It says the final day to experience Soarin' Around the World will be May 13th, with the Soarin' attraction closed starting May 14th. The attraction will be closed for less than 2 weeks as Disney performs the transformation into Soarin' Across America, and then it will debut May 26th at Epcot. So I'm actually looking forward to this. I think I would much rather see Soarin' Across America than Soarin', Around the World, celebrating the 250th anniversary. And of course, you have the Rock and Roller Coaster that just shut down. It's going to reopen as Electric Mayhem, which is going to be a Muppets-themed coasters. That's going to be another thing that's going to open. I don't believe it's going to take very long for this to be re-themed into Muppets, so that's going to be another thing opening up this summer. So obviously having an attendance hit on the biggest part of the company is not something Disney wants to see. So I won't be surprised if, Josh has a couple of things up his sleeve that he could try and pull out if it does look like, bookings and attendance are not where they want them to be. So I think for this year, for this summer in particular, we're going to see a lot of things be thrown out there to try and really ramp up or at least maintain the attendance. And I suppose the question is going to be in the coming years, are these things going to be enough to kind of get them through this time period before they start opening up some of these lands that they're building? time will tell on that, but I do think that Josh tomorrow likely is going to do some things to try and, get some more attention on the theme parks, probably in particular Disney World, as they're dealing with more competition from Universal. And so that is something to keep an eye out. I don't think that that's going to. So that's something to keep an eye on there. I do think that that is some. I do. So that is something to keep an eye on there, because if they do start doing some extra things, some more announcements, that could be an indication that, the attendance is not quite where they want it to be. And they do have a lot of things that they can pull out to try and really ramp attendance up. A lot of them are going to be discounts. Obviously, you can't just have a brand new attraction show up, out of nowhere, but you could have Galaxy's Edge get some changes there like they've done in Disneyland, and even more discounts, which I won't be surprised if we see more discounts going into especially the fall, as we saw that last year. So it's probably going to see something like that similar this year as well. Disney also announced that free dining is back. So we're getting into some of the discounts trying to get people into the parks here. So basically, Walt Disney World has confirmed that free dining is back for all guests. There are stipulations with this. You have to have a non-discounted 4-night and 4-day Walt Disney Travel Company package that includes a room at select Disney Resorts Collection Hotel and a theme park ticket with a park hopper option. The dates are June 28th through October 3rd, October 19th through October 31st, and December 6th through December 21st. I'm a little surprised to see that going that close to Christmas. I don't know if that's something to read into more. Maybe it could be that they're kind of, really trying to bump up the hotels for the Christmas season, but you typically don't see a lot of discounts running into Christmas, because that has become one of the most popular times to go to theme parks is during the Christmas season. But if you're looking to do free dining, they do have this as an option in there. And as well as they even have, yet again, some more discounts. It says visit all 4 Walt Disney World theme parks for $109 per day with a new 4-park magic ticket. They also have 3 new Disney World discounts, save up to 40% on hotel rooms in late summer and early fall, which is going to be a time where typically, especially early fall, many times, attendance does struggle there. And then, of course, they haven't announced, really a lot of details, but you have the animation experience that's going to be over in Hollywood Studios that's going to premiere this summer. So I've talked about this a lot in other videos, basically about last year that, I think Disney found out kind of the hard way that shows and parades were not enough to really bump the attendance, as overall for attendance for Disney was down about a percentage point last year. So obviously last summer, I don't think was quite the hit they were looking for, as they were looking to kind of combat Epic Universe. And Disney was saying that, Epic Universe is going to bring people over to Disney World. And that really didn't quite happen, as, Universal with Epic Universe has had, really strong quarters ever since that has been opened. And that hasn't necessarily translated over for Disney. And then you saw them make a lot of announcements about these refurbs, Big Thunder Mountain, Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin, Soarin', the Animation Academy, really trying to have actual things for people to go do and not just shows and parades. I think that's part of it. And then, of course, discounts. They're going to be running heavy discounts for the coming years as there's lots of construction. Because one of the things you have about construction in theme parks, and we saw the same thing before Epic Universe opened, is a lot of times as you get closer to something opening, a lot of times people are just going to wait until these things are done before if they're already planning on going, they're just going to wait to spend all the money that, again, Disney's expensive to go to. So they're just going to wait until these things are done before they go take their trip. And you also have the issue too, if you do go to Disney right now, 3 out of the 4 theme parks are going to be under heavy construction. And many times that can be a deterrent for people going to a theme park, having to deal with construction and just, hampering the way you normally go about a theme park. So I've always felt that they're going to have this issue for the coming years. And I even said last year about when Epic Universe opened, this wasn't just going to be a 2025 summer issue. This was going to be an ongoing issue for the coming years as Universal and Epic Universe continue to kind of, build upon their momentum that they have. And then Disney, in my opinion, they waited a very long time, probably too long, to announce sort of their rebuttals to Epic Universe. And those things are currently being built, and we'll see how those do when they open. But in the meantime, you have your biggest competitor having a brand new theme park and all this momentum, and you're building all the things that you're currently building. And then, of course, there's a lot of either, excitement, or people aren't excited about it, or lots of questions. I'm talking about Villains Land. a lot of stuff going on at Disney. But I think in the short term, they're definitely going to try and rely on some of these refurbs, some of these quick turnaround attractions they can do, and then also running lots of discounts. So I think that's going to be their recipe, and see how it goes for them this summer, see if they have a better success with these things, which I think they probably will. I mean, there are quite a few things here that are probably going to get at least a lot more locals, and I think that's one place where Disney is going to focus in the coming years, is trying to get more Florida residents to come to the parks. That's your quickest access to try and just, get more people into the parks by running lots more discounts for Florida residents, which they have been doing, and probably to make up the difference of what they might be, potentially losing on people either waiting to go on trips or, not wanting to deal with construction. That is probably what they're looking at here. I do think objectively this is a better summer lineup than they had last summer. Because again, I said the whole time, I don't think shows and parades are going to turn the needle when you have your competitor with a brand new theme park with a bunch of new attractions, and you just have shows and parades. I never thought that was going to work. I think they found out the hard way that didn't work. This stuff could actually work. I don't think this is going to drive like major attendance to the parks like some of these lands when they get those done. But I've also said that, during this time period, if Disney can stay flat on attendance or maybe just down 1 or 2 percentage points, that's a win for them during this time period. And, coming out of this, if these new things that they're building really do hit, those things can ramp up attendance a lot more. But, the timeline here of how long this will go on for is another question, because Disney's construction is not known to be quick. And I think some of these things are going to take much longer than others. I think Villains Lane is going to be well into the 2030s. A lot of questions about how quickly will Disney build these things, but I do think they have a lot of motivation to build these very quickly, considering that I think this is kind of the scenario they're going to be looking at for the next few years of trying to kind of sort of whip up interest in going to the parks while they're currently just, trying to build all these new lands. But at the same time, Universal's building stuff also. New coaster, they're going to be demolishing other lands, and Epic Universe is continuing to improve. So again, Epic Universe wasn't just a last summer problem for Disney. It's an ongoing thing that's going to be there for decades. And, they're still going to be dealing with that this summer. And of course, you got Josh D'Amaro taking over in less than a week. And a lot of assumptions out there that he is going to really have a focus on the parks, obviously coming from the Disney Experiences part of the company, and being the biggest money maker itself for the Disney company is the theme parks. So obviously having an attendance hit is something that they don't want to see. But I will say Disney probably has a few things in their back pocket they'll probably use, because again, Galaxy's Edge out in Disneyland is kind of changing that land, putting in the Star Wars music, more of all the eras of Star Wars in there. I think that is coming to Disney World also. Won't be surprised if maybe they kind of see how these things go, and then if they're still wanting to try and get more people into the parks, they maybe pull that out of their back pocket. Of course, they also have the Grogu and Mandalorian overlay that's going to be on Smuggler's Run. So they've got quite a few things they're trying to throw out this summer. And again, I think they probably learned their lesson last year of, shows and parades don't really do the trick here. We need actual attractions to get people excited. And I guess we'll see if these are enough to really garner a lot of people to come, or if it ends up being a lot of locals, or if a lot of people just say, we'll wait until all these things are done before we go back. I think that's the big question you have here. But I do think when you're looking at some of those discounts running into Christmas, it could tell you a little bit there about where some weaknesses are, maybe some of the bookings. But I also won't be surprised if we see more discounts come out, between now and the fall and maybe the winters. We'll see how this does for Disney, see if this garners the interest they're hoping for. And if there's anything else about this, any updates on more things opening up or anything of that nature, we'll be sure to talk about it on here and let you know about it. But for now, that's going to be it, though, for this video. So if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel, as we do lots of coverage here of Universal Studios, Epic Universe, Disney World, and pop culture. And let us know in the comments, what do you think about all this? And until next time, we will see you in the parks.